first time I realised I was gay was probably really, really early. But then obviously you don't really know what it is, so you don't really know if you like a boy that's different because you're not told from a very young age what sexuality is. And I think that's probably one of the best ways to be. It kind of evolves. And if you're in a safe environment, and I mean by safe environment, like your family, pretty sure that's when you kind of know you're a little bit different. Just hopefully people don't shame you in the family. I don't think there's anything worse than hearing like your uncle or your granddad or your grandma or your auntie just say, or even your mum and dad, oh, don't do that, it's too gay. Because I distinctly remember having all the Disney princesses. I would not go into the bathtub without my Ariel doll. I had a purple Pocahontas lunchbox with Colours of the Wind on the side. And I was strangely attracted to my John Smith action figure. That doesn't make you gay though, having dolls and things like that. But so for the question, first time I realised I was gay was, I would say, in school, high school, because you know what it is. You know what it is there. I would say I felt unique and different from a very early age, probably about 5, I think. But to have a label on it, I would say high school. First time I told a boy that I liked him. Well, in the early days of MSN and Logitech webcams and all that palaver that I wasn't really a forum person, like forums and things. I would like to go on MSN and just blackmail that way. No, just chatting to boys from school that way. However, I did have a person in school who I ended up falling madly deeply in love with because he sat next to me in English. And I had a friend at the time who locked us both in. Didn't really lock us in, he just shut the door and would not let us out. And me and this friend had spoke about this. He said that I should just get it off my chest. I literally should just tell him. And I did. I actually was in the English classroom when everyone had left. My friend had shut the door and I told him point blank I had feelings for him, and he said that was alright, he wasn't gay. Yeah, and nothing. Oh my god, thinking about it now is just so cringe. Rejected from my, probably one of my first crushes. That wasn't my first crush in school, but it was someone I actually thought I was gonna get somewhere with. But yeah, rejection. Did not do it. First family member I told, I can remember this like it was yesterday. I told my granddad. I didn't have the courage to tell my mum yet. Even though the cracks were coming, I had very long hair, I'd become very camp. What you kind of do, well, some people do it, when you're on literally the edge of the cliff, just about to jump into all that glitter. So it's quite unconventional that you would tell your grandfather. However, something happened in school that, with a school boy, who was in my year. We had been on a night out because it was like one of these high school thing, whatever. Mind you, I'd already had sex before. I had sex with a fellow pupil who was in my form, and afterwards, like, he just blanked me, and it really, really upset me, So I just blurted it out to my granddad. He'd mentioned that he knew of certain things like this before because he was in the Navy, and then he asked my grandma to come into the same room as us, and then just literally just said that I've been used, probably just because someone was interested in the taboo of being gay. It doesn't make them gay. If you want to be gay, that's great, but don't waste any of your emotions on this boy because he's not interested. So yeah, thanks, Grandad. for those honest words of advice that were monumental at the time, because I really needed that like kind of positive feedback, because I did not take that rejection well. Another rejection for Kyle. Oh, high school was so much fun. There's been so many. The first time I kissed a boy, God, it has to go back. I think it was a boy in school. Like, okay, so what are we talking about? Are we talking about real kissing? Or are we talking about just a peck? Because if we're talking about a real, I kissed a boy and I liked it. I don't know, God, it's quite... I kissed a lot of boys in school. I went to an all-boys school, and it was either be a hoe or get bullied. So I did what my nation wanted me to be. I was, I don't know. I think watching Footballers' Wives made me that person. But yeah, I thought if I was cunning and conniving and get that on top of someone, plus it also helped that I had a very beautiful twin sister in the all-girls school across town. So you don't bully someone who has an attractive sister. You just don't, because then I'll tell her, then she'll tell her friends, and then, well, none of you get laid. So yeah, just remember that. When you're bullying people in school, remember if they have siblings, don't do it. However, first time I kissed a boy, I'm going to say I went to go and see Welcome to the Jungle on a very hidden day, very secret. We met on the 592 bus to Burnley Town Centre. He wore a red cap. He was a year below me. I was in year 11. He was in year 5. Oh my God, no. Year 10. I was in year 11. We didn't kiss on the bus, but he did hold my hand. I thought it was the best thing ever, because he was like straight, and it was so risque and everything. I had pound coins in a little pouch that my mum had given me to the cinema, because remember guys, back then you could go to the cinema and bowling for just £5. Now, never. So we went to go see Welcome to the Jungle in the Director's Auditorium, which was classed as a very posh, very nice, like, cinema. And yeah, we ended up kissing, amongst other things. But yes, that was the first time I think I fully kissed someone, like a boy I liked. My parents' reaction to me being gay, well, we'll just count my mum, because my dad passed away before I actually did come out. He did actually speak with my mum and ask if he thought that I was gay, and my mum did think, well, my mum's answer was, yes, I do think Kyle's going to be gay. However, moving on from that, my mum's reaction was one of so much emotion. I remember she had found some photographs that, remember back in the day, kids, when we used to go out with a disposable camera, take pictures, go to Boots, get them printed off, and then you have them all. Yeah, I miss those days, because no one ever prints their pictures out anymore. However, this was my undoing. My photographs showed a lot of gay men in these photographs. Nothing risque, no nudes. I didn't know what nudes were back then, just a webcam. I had these photographs. I put them in my room somewhere in a drawer. And I always think, as a gay person, you actually leave them, you don't hide them as much as you should. Like, you hide them just enough that someone might find them. And then for you, it'd be easier, because if someone finds them, then they can question you, rather than you just say, all right, look, I think I'm gay. So yeah, these pictures were found, and my mum placed them very neatly on the dining room table, and just welcomed me into the house when I came home from school. And she was like, I'd like to speak to you in the dining room. Very formal, very dynasty. So yeah, I went in, and at the moment I went into the dining room, I was like, oh my God, it's those photos. She sat me down and then said, are you going to be happy with this life? And my answer was, this isn't my only life. These are just people from a night out in a gay bar. And she was like, so the question was, are you gay? And then I cried, and I said, I think I am, and I don't want to disappoint you, Mum. and she said she did cry. Yeah, it is one of those really touching moments where you kind of don't want to disappoint your mum, especially with the fact that I was the only boy in the house. You go through loads of different emotions, like you can't bring kids into the world, like they miss out on that life. But that's a young mentality. I don't think like that now. And she said, I love like everything about you. If I don't learn to love this, then I will lose you. And I can't imagine not having you in my life. You're my son, my everything. And we hugged. I left the house actually after and just had a walk around our area because there's loads of fields and just to get fresh air. And I think the burden of it all just was lifted. Obviously, other members of the family have to be told, but the main person for me that I wanted respect and the love for, and just knowing that everything was going to be okay and I would be accepted with open arms, was my mum. My mum is my world, my mum is my everything. And to have that with her, because she handled it with such grace and dignity, because gay people were not prominent in her life. I think she went to one gay club where she went with my Auntie Julie, and a moment the people had their clothes on and one moment they had their tops off. And my mum didn't know what was really going on. But to handle that with such grace and decorum, and to still have the love that she has for me, was fantastic. And I'm very blessed to have such a understanding, loving family. Yeah. Thank you, family. I love you all. What is the best thing about coming out? Good question. Well, seeing as it's National Coming Out Day, I think the best thing about coming out is obviously just to be yourself, but to be yourself and to acknowledge everyone else before us. I know that a lot of younger gay men, I myself was 29, 30 this year, like I've read up on our history, like, and I don't know, in school, I was never told about gay lifestyles, anything like that, which pretty much everyone else is probably in the same boat still. We learn for us, like we teach ourselves, we are our own worst enemy. The moment we hear one sign of shaming from a younger age, we feel like we have to keep it to ourselves. Even at a time where I know coming out is great and it can be one of the best things you can do, hopefully in years to come, that coming out isn't a national holiday or a national day or just that one day where it has to be celebrated. Maybe society just accepts that we are here and we're always going to be fighting for equality, fight for our rights, because if we didn't, everyone before us who have died to do that, and for us to allow ourselves to walk in gay prides or allow to hold hands with our partners, allow ourselves to get married, even to adopt children, everything else, the history that it stems from, I really feel strongly that we are out and proud, and that is one of the best things about coming out. If you have time to read up on LGBT, everything else, history, then please do. You will be shaken to your core in terms of how much information and how much happiness and how much sadness and how much has happened for the LGBTQ community. But to be a part of that, I'm ever so proud of me, my friends, everyone in between. I feel that the love, in my way, the love of a man makes me feel complete. I'm lucky enough to have fallen in love. I'm umming a lot in this. I really don't want to be emotional. Yeah, and I know everyone says it gets better. It is truly one of the most scariest things is to come out. I remember feeling like my mum would never talk to me. She wouldn't approve. But then this is just built upon what you're told throughout your like childhood and teens and even young adults. I know someone who just recently came out to their parents, and he's 23. So to be a part of that ever-growing community where sometimes you do feel like, I don't know, depression, suicidal thoughts, a longing to belong to the heterosexual lifestyle, so most people kid themselves. I think the best thing about coming out was to love myself and hopefully find love with someone else, I feel. And to wave this because we are out and proud, and just remember to stay true to yourself and always love who you are, because that person is amazing. So thanks for watching my video. Happy National Coming Out Day. I hope everyone has great stories to tell as well. If you like this video, you know what to do. You can like in the corner, or you can subscribe. Take care, everyone, and remember, love yourself. Mwah. Woo!